All right, here at 531 Alpine Street. Guys, I'm just gonna give you a view of the street because you said you wanted something quiet before we start this tour out. So Alpine Street is not necessarily a major street, but as far as comparing it to the other homes that we saw, this street is going to feel slightly busier. Now, this is 3:30 right now. So this is the time that you are going to have a significant amount of traffic on this road, in particularly because the schools that are around the area, and this is kind of a back roads back way to get north and south between 17th and 9th Street. So just want to give you guys a quick view of that. But this home, and I just shut my mouth here real quick to let you guys kind of listen to. I do have a very high fidelity microphone on. So the noise you're hearing from these cars driving by, like this one, I just wanted to let you guys hear that so you can see for yourself how the noise is. Now, inside of the home, I did not notice anything. Inside of the home, outside of the home, you do notice a little bit. So obviously, beautiful landscaped yard, and look at the brick on that house. Looks stinking great. Now, this home was obviously remodeled, and we would hope that they took care of everything. We're gonna try and investigate a little bit and kind of see a little bit more. So this looks like it's just brick fascia rather than brick structure, which is a little bit different. So it has regular stick frame construction, and then this is vinyl siding right here, which some people like that and some people don't. I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of a fan of it because you power wash it down once a year and you're pretty much good to go. This is a fence, but it's locked from the inside, so we'll get back there in the back. But there's a little pathway that goes all the way from the front. And look at this beautiful tree right here. Beautiful tree, flowers, look great. I'll get you guys a better shot of the home here. I like this little walkway, makes getting to the front door a little bit easier. You see that crack on the front of the concrete right there? Again, that's gonna happen here. But the fascia looks good. The driveway, surprisingly, look at this. There is not a crack in that driveway, which, let me tell you, is gonna be very rare. And what I'm looking for on this brick is just any signs that it's been repaired, any signs of movement, anything of that nature. And as you can see, everything looks pretty good. And this doesn't look like it was repainted to me because you can still see a couple areas in there to where it could use, some fresh caulking. This is also a common area right here where you're gonna see just a tiny little bit of rot. What happens is snow, ice, and water get underneath those because they don't paint the bottom of them. And that's just something where it's just a little homeowner maintenance. What I do with mine is I just go ahead, I bring out my caulking gun once a year, caulk it, put some paint on it. You're usually good. That'll last you a couple of years. Let's get inside of this home and check it out. So right when you walk in, you are greeted. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that. That door is definitely aggressive. So you've got a nice space right here when you walk in the door. I'll flip this around and go ahead and show you looking out through that window. This is a pretty good size room. Brand new paint, looks like brand new flooring. This flooring does not look used at all to me. And there's a shot out of the window right there. So this flooring, let's check this out. This is going to be a laminate flooring. So this flooring is going to last you not as long as, you know, your luxury vinyl plank flooring is going to be, because it's just the top layer of floor. And what they did was they put that over another style of flooring and then put what we call quarter round in the industry to hide that gap. And I'm sure we're going to be able to find some other areas to where the flooring doesn't match and I don't have to look far. You see right here, they just cut that flooring just a little bit shy and didn't run that quarter round all the way out. And you're gonna see instances of that. That's not the best type of way to do it, but the people who redo these homes have to balance cost along with, you know, doing these projects. So you do have a nice little eating kitchen right here, obviously dining table. And then the kitchen does have a nice tile backsplash. I like how they did that. It looks pretty darn good. And of course, on all the rest of my videos, I start out by saying, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful day. Well, today is cloudy, overcast, and it's been raining, and everybody here is jumping up and down. We've had thunder, we've had rain, which is uncommon to have an actual thunderstorm. My wife gets pretty excited. So one of the things you could do is you could put a rolling kitchen island right there. I've built a couple of those. They're very, very cheap, and that just gives you a little bit more counter space. When you're not using it, you can roll it right over there to the corner. Let's cruise down the hall here. So this is the look out from the kitchen. And there is a possibility that you could open up this wall, which is going to make this area quite a bit larger. Now this is a load bearing, I'm guessing this is a load bearing wall because of the way that it's running, but you can always get rid of those. And I do see my first blemish in the flooring right here. It's very slight, but my job is just to show you guys what this house is all about. Let's go into the first bedroom here. Again, I do like the fact that they ran this flooring in all of the rooms and through the threshold. So there's no threshold there. This is a little bit of a smaller room. You're not gonna fit a California king in here comfortably. And we've got your regular standard closet in there. So far, the sheetrock and texture all look like it was done very, very well. You do have newer, I would say, vinyl windows here, which is nice to see. One less thing you got to worry about. We're going to walk right across the hallway and straight into the bathroom. But before we do that, just show you guys what storage is available. And then you've got this bathroom right here. So this bathroom, kind of dual purpose. And I do this hexagon grout flooring, or the honeycomb grout flooring, looks pretty darn good. I like how they continued some of this work into the backsplash of that right there. And then you have your, this is just going to be your standard cheaper Home Depot tub surround rather than doing tile, but hey, it does work. And interestingly enough about this bathroom is it is kind of set up Jack and Jill. So there's your hallway so that your guests can enter the bathroom, and there is the master or primary bedroom right there. And we're actually going to go out so you guys can see this layout right here. But first, let's go over into the second bedroom. Now the second bedroom here is significantly larger than the first one that I showed you. It also has those huge closets right there. So that's going to be mirrored between this room and the other room over there. So these are going to be double wide closets. There shouldn't be any partition in between there. Now, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to stand right by this window right here for a minute so you guys can hear what I'm hearing. So those two cars came past. You can hear it slightly, but I would not say that it is noisy. Now we are going into the primary. It is about roughly the same size as that bedroom we were just in. And of course, you've got the same double size, larger closets. No walk-ins in these older homes, but this, I've noticed having a smaller closet. I've got smaller closets in my current home right now. I've noticed that doing so just helps me not collect as many clothes that I'm never going to wear. Or only when my wife makes me wear them, I guess. Now, that is the bathroom right there. Same bathroom that exited out in the hallway. This one has a really nice thing right there with the pocket door, so that just does not take up as much room. And we have the downstairs yet to go. One more shot of that living room. Cruising through the kitchen, and then we're going to get to what I would say is probably one of the best parts of this home, is that backyard. We do have a single car garage in here as well. This more than likely is just going to end up being storage. It is actually longer than what a 2-car garage would normally be. So if you do have a longer vehicle, will still fit in here lengthwise. I don't know that it would fit height-wise because that's not a very tall garage door. Obviously, when they built these homes, nobody was driving an F-250. So you come down into the finished basement. Now there is a nice little surprise down here. Big room. Love seeing that. And then obviously they did a great job by installing these very, very nice shelving. It helps keep everything tidy, organized. And also it's just kind of a nice touch to have that here. Obviously put some plants on there, games, whatever you guys are into. But the interesting thing here is that they actually brought this wall out, which is totally cool, but they actually put in a second kitchen here. So yes, it's in the laundry room. This is not permitted, but heck, it works. You got a refrigerator, stove, microwave, vent fan, all right here, which is, I mean, it's a great use of the space. So you might have some rental potential already. Looks like updated HVAC and water heater, which is nice to see. And oh, they do have service records on there. You never see that. That is awesome. Because you're dealing with a homeowner that actually upkept this. And they even brought that tile, the same subway tile that's in the kitchen, down here into this room, which is a nice touch. And then coming down here, you've got a bedroom, storage room before we go into there. Here's your second bathroom. This one's a little bit larger than the one upstairs because it does have the storage in unit. And I do like these tile choices they have down here. Pretty standard vanity, toilet. And here, rather than doing a shower surround, which I have done this in my units as well, this is actually, you can buy this in 4x8 sheets, and it does go all the way to the ceiling, which I really like, because then you're not having to seal up or deal with any of that. And me being a tall guy with long hair, that does provide some added benefits right there. Give you a shot of this room from the other angle. This would be a great movie sports room here because it's going to stay pretty controlled with the lighting because you only have that tiny small little window there. Going to the storage room. Now, they did a great job here because they did put in these egress windows. Now, if you notice something, you notice that these are aluminum framed right here. Now, I don't know what the heck they're doing with this spray foam here. That might be, I don't know whether they ordered the wrong size window or what, but I guess that does work. Looks like they clipped that window into place right there. And that's just a little bit shy. I might have trimmed that out a little bit differently, but no house is perfect, let me tell you, because I'm in hundreds and hundreds of homes. So this room here did have carpet in it. You can tell that because of the space between the baseboards, and they just decided to remove it, which I would have done as well. Small little drywall patch right there. And then, of course, we've got your downstairs bedroom here. Again, with an egress window. This is important because you do need a fire escape and a closet to call it a bedroom and for it to be conforming. Again here, they filled this space up with this foam. That is not incorrect. I just might have done it a little bit differently. However, it is working, and that does seal up and keep the cold air or warm air out depending on what season we are in. All right, let's step out into this backyard here. And man, great space back here. This is a key component here, to be able to walk out of your garage with any tools that you need and not have to go through the house. On newer construction, this is about $3,700 just to put in that door. So good to see that here, because I always tell people to do it. And people think it's expensive until you start using the home and you wish that you had it. So check this backyard out. Huge pergola. Those things are awesome. Gives you some shade, gives shade for the dogs. And then you have all of this space. Now you can turn this into whatever the heck you want to. Obviously you could put garden back here. You could increase the amount of grass that you have. However, this kind of keeps things zero-scaped and allows you to use a lot less water. And we got to check out the siding back here. What I'm looking for is particularly any cracks, any type of hail damage, things like that. And they're trying diligently to get this grass to grow just like in my backyard. And I am failing. They are actually doing a little bit better of a job than I am. And so here's that walking path that was from the front yard. And then they have this little storage shed right here, which is very usable, especially when you have a smaller garage. And then it does look like a gate that's going to fold out to the front right there, so you can get through there as well. And give you a shot kind of walking through this backyard. Now again, for quiet's sake, I'm just going to shut my mouth and walk through this backyard. All right, guys, this concludes this property tour. If you guys have any questions, concerns, you know exactly who to call. We'll chat soon.